now the latest on October 4th around the wide world of tropics. Here's your tropical weather bulletin. The tropics are quietening down today, with Mitag still on the verge of tropical storm status, turning post-tropical, and Ex-Lorenzo off the coast of Ireland tonight. Day 277 around the world during this year, and it's day 125 of the Atlantic hurricane season. Just one disturbance in the Yucatan Channel with a 10% chance of development in the next 5 days, not marked there because it's not an invest. Day 142 in the Eastern Pacific, 95E, still has a fair chance of development. And in the Western Pacific, Mitag moving up northeast there now, and 93W, which is our next system that we're going to be watching in the Western Pacific. In the Southern Hemisphere, there's nothing going on here at this time. It's all quiet at the moment. So, this is a look at Invest 95E, pardon me. There is what it's looking like at this point. Wind shear is quite low at this time, and looking rather intriguing to say the least. There is a circulation quite clearly there, low level, and some convection blowing up to the west, but not much. It's a very small system, it would appear at this time, in amongst a lot of soup really of more disturbances around it. The North Atlantic wide view looks like this today. Lots of Saharan air coming off the African continent, and towards the west there you can see the Gulf of Mexico region too, and that disturbance which is sort of centered in near the Yucatan Channel, but a lot of disturbances spreading out away from it, mainly towards the east, a little bit to the west as well. Very disorganized, not likely to become anything. Here's the Eastern Pacific wide shot. So Invest 95E is in there somewhere on the right hand side of this, I think, or is it somewhere near the center actually, but that whole disturbed area there is our potential for our next system somewhere amongst all of that. Towards the Central Pacific, it's quieter, not as much going on over there. The Western Pacific looking like this, so you can quite clearly see Invest 93W there, which is looking rather potent already. Long-term models are saying that this could develop into something really significant as it moves towards the Philippine Sea, eventually towards Japan. It's another one that's going to be deflected off towards the north. It's one of those years, it seems, if that verifies. The Australia and South Pacific region looks like this at this time. A few flare-ups occurring over the Solomon Islands, and now pushing off towards the far southwest there, towards Papua New Guinea as well. The Indian Ocean looking fairly quiet here too, just a few flare-ups occurring over the Indian continent, but really very little to speak of in terms of a tropical nature. Sea surface temperatures gradually decreasing across the board in the Northern Hemisphere now. The Eastern Pacific is obviously warmer waters near the Mexican coastlines. Same too in the Atlantic, actually, near the Mexico coast is the warmest areas, Western Caribbean, 30 degrees plus. Massive cold trail from Lorenzo there in the Eastern Atlantic. I think that shut down the Cape Verde season. Maybe there might be one more little storm that comes out of it. The Indian Ocean, very warm here as well, getting towards 30 degrees Celsius. Western Pacific as well. Still very warm here, but cooler towards the southern Japanese islands, where all of them storms have passed through recently. Well, there's only one thing we can really look at tonight, and that's post-tropical cyclone Lorenzo, which is moving through the British Isles tonight. Rainfall, as you can see, could reach 1.5 to 2 inches. Wind speeds aren't quite as high as what we were initially expecting for the region. We're now expecting maximums of 60 miles per hour along the western coasts of Ireland. So on the list, on this rather short tropical weather bulletin tonight, the next name on the Atlantic list is Melissa. In the Eastern Pacific, we're looking out for Octave. In the Central Pacific, Ima is the next name on list 1. In the Western Pacific, we're now looking out for Hagibis. That could be the current invest, maybe. And in the North Indian Ocean, the next name on list 8 is Kiyar. You can find Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest, our YouTube page, search Force 13 all in text, and subscribe if you haven't so far. And you can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. You can get in touch with us on those outlets. And our next tropical weather bulletin will follow tomorrow night, as always. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. With a special thanks to these people for being our most valued patrons this month. You can also check out our growing merch store so you can show Force 13's colors wherever you go. You can also find a link to our Discord server underneath this video in the description.